Let me be honest with you for a second. Most homes don't feel small because they are small. They feel small because the layout is quietly working against you. And the worst part, these mistakes are so common, so normalized, that people don't even realize they are living with them every single day. I am Ceylan, an interior designer and architect working on real renovation projects, not Pinterest fantasies. And today, I am breaking down 7 space wasting layout traps that I see constantly in apartments, villas, and even luxury homes. Not trends, not decor, layout mistakes that steal square meters, kills flow, and make homes feel cramped, even when the floor plan looks fine on paper. And more importantly, I will show you how to fix every single one. But first, I would really appreciate it if you could check one more time whether you have already subscribed or not. It will really help my channel to grow. So, after your subscription, let's dive into it. Trap 1. The formal entry that does nothing. This design trend is everywhere. You walk into an apartment and instead of stepping into a warm, inviting living space, you find yourself in a dead zone. A formal entry hall, a wide corridor, an empty square dominated by console table that holds absolutely nothing. On floor plans, this layout screams luxury. In reality, it's pure wasted space. I have seen entry halls eating up 6, 8, sometimes even 12 square meters, just so guests can stand there for 3 seconds and say, nice place. Here is the real issue. That space doesn't support living. It doesn't store anything useful. It rarely connects visually or functionally to the rest of home. And worst of all, it usually steals precious square footage from the living room or other areas where life actually happens. Imagine what those meters could do if we were integrated into a living area. More room for seatings, better flow, maybe even a cozy reading nook. Instead, we sacrifice livability for a fleeting impression of grandeur. Why it kills your space? The moment you isolate the entrance from the space where life actually happens, you start losing more than just square meters. You lose flow, natural movement from one area to another. You lose light because that enclosed hole often blocks daylight from reaching deeper into your home. And you lose flexibility. Those rigid walls and empty zones can't adapt to your needs. In apartments, this is especially critical. Every square meter should have a purpose. It should store, connect, or serve daily life. When an entry hall becomes nothing more than a decorative buffer, it's not just wasted space. It's a design flaw that compromises comfort and functionality. So, how to fix it? The fix is not remove the entry. The fix is make the entry work harder. Turn that dead zones into a built-in storage, a compact mudroom wall, a concealed wardrobe, or even part of the living space itself. Use floor material transitions, lighting, or ceiling drops to define the entry without walls. The goal is simple. No square meter enters the home unemployed. Trap 2. The box-in kitchen. This one is controversial, and I know it. The closed kitchen, not because closed kitchens are inherently bad, but because most of them are badly planned. Here is the typical scenario. A small kitchen boxed into a separated room with using solid walls on all sides, keeping a single narrow door, having zero visual connections to the rest of home. The result, a space that feels tight, dark, and completely disconnected from daily life. Cooking becomes an isolated task instead of shared experience. And here is the irony. These kitchens often steal valuable square meters from the living area. Yet, they still feel cramped themselves. So, you sacrifice openness and flexibility, but you don't gain real functionality in return. A well-designed closed kitchen can work beautifully, but most fail because they ignore flows, light, and proportion. They prioritize separation over livability. So, why it doesn't work? When kitchens are isolated, the problem doesn't just stay in that one room. It doubles. The kitchen itself feels smaller and more confined, while the living space loses its sense of openness. You are not just closing off a room, you are closing off light, air, and connection. Natural light struggles to reach deeper into that home. Cross ventilation disappears, making the space feel stuffy. And without visual depth, those long sightlines that makes interiors feel expansive, the apartments begins to feel emotionally smaller, even though the square meters haven't changed. It's subtle but powerful effect. Isolation shrinks the experience of living, not just the layout. So, how to fix it? You don't need fully open kitchen. You need controlled openness. Just think a moment. Using glass partitions, sliding panels or pass-through counters. These keep smells and noise under control while allowing light flow, visual expansion, and of course social connection. A kitchen should feel like a part of home, not a service room from another era. Trap 3. Oversized circulation spaces. Corridors are necessary, but most homes have far more corridor than they actually need. Long hallways, oversized walkways, entire stretches of space designed for one purpose only, passing through, not living, or just hanging family photos and arts. This is one of the biggest layout sins in modern apartments. Why? Because every square meter matters, and these transition zones often consumes a shocking amount of it without adding any real value. Developers love corridors because they make floor plans look clean and organized. But designers hate them, and for a good reason. They bleed usable area, stealing space that could have been part of living room, a storage solution, or even a cozy nook. Instead, you end up with a dead space that does nothing for comfort, functionality, or flow. A well-designed home minimizes circulation space and integrates movement into a living area. When corridors dominate, the apartment feels fragmented and smaller than it truly is. So, why it wastes space? Circulation space doesn't generate real value. You can't sit there, you can't store anything meaningful, and you certainly can't live there. Yet, in many apartments, these hallways and transitional zones consume 50 to 20% of the entire floor area. Think about what that means. That's the size of a bedroom wall, a large kitchen, or deeper wardrobe. Unfortunately, all gone. All sacrificed for a space that serves no purpose beyond moving from one room to another. It's a silent thief of livability, reducing functionality while giving nothing back. Smart design minimizes circulation and integrates movement into living areas. When every square meter works, the home feels bigger, brighter, and far more efficient. So, how to fix it? The fix is hybrid circulation. Corridors should do something. Add full height storage walls. Keep open shelving for books or arts. Add study niches, laundry cabinets, or hidden pantries. Or better, shorten the corridor entirely by reorienting doors and merging spaces visually. A good layout makes circulation disappear. If you notice the corridor, it's already wasting space. Trap 4. Furniture-driven rooms. This mistake is subtle and deadly for livability. It happens when rooms are designed around furniture sizes instead of human movement. Sofas are pushed against walls simply because that's how it's done. Dining tables float awkwardly into the center. leaving circulation as afterthought. Bathrooms boast massive beds but offer no breathing space, forcing you to sidestep corners just to move around. The result, a layout that feels more like a showroom than a home. It looks good on paper, maybe even staged on photos, but it fails in real life. Homes should be designed for a flow, flexibility, and comfort, not just for fitting in standard furniture pieces. When movement is ignored, the space becomes rigid and lifeless. A well planned layout prioritizes how people live, not just what they own. Why this wasted space? When furniture dictates the layout, circulation becomes awkward. Corners lose their purpose, and flexibility disappears. The space might be technically large on paper, but in reality, it feels tight and rigid. Instead of flowing naturally, the room becomes a maze of obstacles, designed for objects rather than people. A home should adapt to life, not force life to adapt to furniture. So, how to fix it? Design from movement first. Ask, how do people enter the room? Where do they walk? And where do they pause? Then place furniture that supports those paths, not block them. Use FIVA, beta scaled pieces. Float furniture when possible. Let walls to breathe. Please keep in mind, space isn't about filling, it's about allowing flow. Trap 5. Bathrooms with too many walls. Bathrooms are meant to feel calm, spacious, and restorative. Yet many modern layouts turn them into boxes within boxes. Fragmented spaces that lose their sense of proportion. Extra walls are added for walk-in wardrobes, vanity corners, and bathroom entries, all carved out without considering balance or flow. Instead of creating harmony, these partitions chop the room into awkward zones, leaving the main sleeping area feeling cramped and disconnected. A well designed bathroom should breathe. It should prioritize openness and simplicity, with storage and functional areas integrated seamlessly rather than walled off. When proportion is ignored, the result is a space that looks luxurious on paper but feels claustrophobic in reality. So, why it fails? When a bathroom is fragmented too much, the sleeping area shrinks, natural light gets blocked, and the entire room feels chopped into pieces. Instead of one calm and cohesive space, you end up with a multiple zones, none of them generous, none of them truly functional. The result is a bathroom that looks complex but lives small, sacrificing comfort for unnecessary partitions. So, how to fix it? Instead of adding walls, use furniture partitions, sliding panels, and wardrobes as dividers. Let the bedroom read as one continuous volume, even if functions are separated. And don't forget, the eye should travel, the light should flow, and calm bedroom is a visual, simple bedroom. Trap 6. Bathrooms designed like showrooms. This one really hurts because it's everywhere online. Oversized bathrooms that look glamorous in photos but fail in real life. They are filled with features nobody truly needs. Bathtubs that rarely get used. Double sinks that serves no real purpose. And vast empty spaces that screams luxury but feel cold and impractical. The irony, while square meters are poured into creating this illusion of grandeur, the essentials are often overlooked. Storage is missing, leaving toiletries scattered. Circulations becomes awkward, forcing you to navigate around fixtures instead of moving freely. A great bathroom isn't about size, it's about smart design. It should feel comfortable, functional, and integrated, not like a showroom of unused features. So, why it wastes space? Bathrooms don't benefit from emptiness. They benefit from efficiency, ergonomics, and smart storage. A well-planned compact bathroom can feel far more comfortable and functional than a large one with poor planning. Size alone doesn't create luxury. Thoughtful design does. When every element is placed with purpose, the space works beautifully, regardless of square meters. So, how to fix it? Design bathrooms from use frequency. If you don't take baths, remove the tub. If you don't need two sinks, reclaim the space. Use wall-hung fixtures, built-in niches, or compact layouts. As I am always mentioning, luxury is not size. Luxury is and functionality. Trap 7. Rooms with only one purpose. This is the biggest trap of all. Rooms that serve only one purpose. Think about it. A guest bathroom that used twice a year, yet occupies prime square meters every single day. A formal dining room reserved for holidays, sitting empty the other 360 days. A study that looks great on paper but rarely sees real work. These spaces feel like status symbol, but in modern homes they are pure waste. Today's living is dynamic. Families need rooms that adapt, spaces that can shift from work to play, from hosting to relaxing. Every square meter should earn its keep. A room that does just one thing isn't luxury anymore. It's liability. It steals flexibility, reduces functionality, and makes the home feel smaller than it really is. A smart design creates multi-purpose zones. A guest room that doubles as a home office. A dining area that blends with the kitchen for everyday use. Or a study that transforms into a creative corner. When spaces work harder, homes feel bigger, brighter, and infinitely more livable. So, why it no longer works? Homes today must adapt to work, to hosting guests, to storage, or to constant changes life brings. Flexibility is no longer optional, it's essential. Single purpose rooms lock your layout in time, making it rigid and unable to evolve with your needs. A modern home should be dynamic, with spaces that transform and serve multiple functions seamlessly. So, how to fix it? Design multifunctional spaces. Use guest room as office, dining as workspace, living as reading or as a storage. Use fold-away furniture, sliding partitions, or flexible lighting. And bear in mind, the best layouts evolve with you. So, let's wrap it up. The designer's truth. Here is the truth most people never hear. Good design doesn't add space, it reveals it. Most of homes already have enough square meters. They are just trapped in a bad decisions. If you fix the layout, the home feels bigger, calmer, and more expensive. And if you want more videos like this, real design, real fixes, subscribe to the Designerist and let me know in the comments which trendy dead zones you already have in your home. Because beautiful homes aren't about trends, they are about thinking better. So, see you in the next one.